This is Zoe Palmer and
Chris Holden-Reed.
And we're on Open the Fridge.
I hope there's something good in there.
What was a real big draw for you for this character?
I just really love the relationships and how intricate the characters are, and this opportunity to have such a big universe to play in, and everything is so complex and intricate and alien, and yet we're able to re-examine really relatable, important themes. So you have those. Essentially, it's an immigrant drama. You have those racial issues to deal with the different species trying to cohabit. You have the misunderstandings and the danger and the friction that brings up. And with my own character, I come from a very gender repressive, sexist society, really, the Casterton society. The men put their women in a cage in many ways. And so now we're able to look at these gender issues from a new perspective and see how her spirit triumphs or becomes perverted and distorted.
Speaking of that, I mean, your character really did have a lot of growth this season, a lot. You went through a lot. Where do you want her to go with the second season?
Well, I am really interested in, Stammer is very held. She is very repressed and constrained, but she's also infinitely wise and intelligent and shrewd. And so she's always finding ways to assert herself, but still stay within the confines that she has been placed in. And in many ways, it makes me feel like I'm wearing a mask, even the way she uses the American language as her second language, and she is also fighting to find the right words and stuff. She's very constrained, and it was interesting for me when you saw the mask slip. A lot of characters, every human being wears a mask. You wear a different mask when you're at work, to when you're with your children, to when you're with, in social situations. But there are usually people who you're intimate with who you do not wear your mask with. Stammer wears her mask even with her husband. And there were moments when she let it slip, and it was almost terrifying. And I'd like to see that mask slip a little more in the second season.
One of my favorite lines from the entire season was that the scene where Daytak has just joined the council and you're sitting outside the room, and then Grant's character comes out and is like, I was looking at the wrong snake in the grass.
Yeah.
And I thought that perfectly described your character.
Yeah, and what do I say? Do you remember? I say, you're very sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, I think there's the writer over there. I think that I changed that line on the day. It was meant to be something else, but anyway, it was interesting because this other species, this Casterton woman, she thinks it's a compliment. You can't be angry with a scorpion for being a scorpion. It just is. And I think she's telling the truth when she says she loves Daytak because of his cruelty. For her, it's a sign of strength, and she respects that.
What drew you to the show? Was it the modern Western aspect, the sci-fi genre? What?
That's all of the above. I think reading the scripts for the first time, the challenge of this fantastical frontier town that deals with a lot of has these aliens in it, but also deals with many. Deals with it in a new, refreshing way. Many social, cultural, political, spiritual aspects of our planet, of humanity in many ways, but within this sort of sci-fi backdrop. I found that interesting, sort of a new take on it, because in many ways a lot of it's about Defiance. It is about immigrants and immigration and how these aliens come to planet Earth, and nobody wants to let them in. Nobody wants to give them a green card. And these aliens are doing a lot of good for society in many ways, And so I think you can hold up the mirror to humanity and see a lot of good and bad within the show about what we are about as a society within the society of Defiance, but also the character was a lot of fun on the page, and it's been fun to work with Jaime and Julie and Grant and Stephanie, everybody. But yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with the character sort of threads and how you want these characters to be fleshed out. You want them to have complexities. You want them to have these sort of this roller coaster ride, if you will. He's a victimizer, Datak, but in many ways I think he's a bit of a victim as well. He's from a sort of rough background. He won his passage to planet Earth on the Arks in a card game. He's a hustler. He's a chancer. He's a survivor, but he needs to know when to speak, and he needs to know when not to react. Because at the end of season 1, obviously he behaved in a certain physical manner that you might say was detrimental to his political career. You could say that. Oh, homicidal maniac. So as Stammer, rather, he's almost like he's a child, and he just couldn't help himself as she comes in and removes the letter opener from his palm. It's almost like he's got a sickness in many ways that he can't. His wrathful addiction, if you will, that he needs to simmer down. And I think in many ways his volcanic personality, he's going to try to do that at the beginning of season 2, because he's not going to be in Defiance. He's going to be in somewhere else that we don't know yet, but he's not going to be living with his wife or his son, so he's going to be separate from Defiance, and that's going to be challenging for him. But I think in many ways being away from Defiance will give him time to reflect and think about what he has to do when he gets back. So he's gone to Scotland, actually. He's gone to visit his grandmother, so because he is actually a Scottish alien. I do have my green card, by the way, just in case they're going to be on to me. Yeah, I told you, he doesn't have any paper. Where are your papers? So, yeah, we're looking forward to getting back. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's nice to be back at Comic-Con, obviously. People are dressed as their characters from the show, which is very cool. So,
speaking of that, how long does it take to get into the makeup and the whole outfit?
It's not as long as you'd think. I mean, Trenna Keating, who plays Doc Yule, God bless her, she's got the prosthetic depression, as I call it. I've been in prosthetic world myself, and it's tough. It's rewarding, but it's challenging. She takes about 4.5 hours. Arissa takes about 2-3 hours. Me and Jaime in that sort of couple of hours. It's not as long as everybody else with wigs, contact lenses, but once you put the whole outfit on, it's quite a transformation. So it definitely helps you get in the character. Yeah.
So obviously you guys use Stacco a lot in the show. Has it kind of?
What it means? No.
Has it kind of creeped into your own actual life?
Yeah, no, it's good to. It's well, it was the movie where what's what do you call it? He's running and it says it in the back of the car sticker. Forrest Gump.
Oh yes.
You see, originally it said Stacco happens. I remember the guy, the bumper sticker. So obviously, humanity stole that, but it was originally an alien idea. Stacco happens. So, just so you know.